Hello and welcome. Today we'll look at UNCTAD database again. There's still confusion about foreign direct investment data and from where you get the data. As in previous videos, I explained the source of foreign direct investment and said that foreign direct investment data belongs to the balance of payment. So if we want to get data about foreign direct investment, we need to see check data published about the balance of payment published. So, and questions about whether we can get foreign direct investment monthly, quarterly, annually. So that depends on how and when each government institutions publishing data about the balance of payments. So for the UNCTAD, we go to statistics, and then we look at data center, and then we look at you see all the information. We need to go to balance of payments, and in balance of payment you see different information about balance of payment. You see foreign direct investment data. Foreign direct investment data, we see all the data here. We see all the data here, and you see here the economy. Here we select countries or regions, and here you see years, and then here you see directions and then measure. So here we're looking at, for example, we're looking at flow or stock. We're looking at only the flow of foreign direct investment. We're looking at the year. We want to get all the years. So if you're looking at time series data, you need to look at all the years. We're looking at direction. We're looking at inward. In terms of measure, so you have US dollars at current prices in millions, US dollars at current prices per capita, percentage of total world, percentage of gross domestic product, percentage of fixed gross fixed capital formation. So what we need to look at, we look at let's say US dollars at current prices in millions. Yeah. And we've done the mode, the measures, the measured direction, and now we need to look, and we've done the year as well. We need to look at the economy. So again, so we need to select regions or countries, depends of what you want. So we have different classifications in UNCTAD, which is really helpful. So they have individual economies, and then you have world, and then you have continents, and then you have regions. So this is sub-Saharan African, North America, and Europe, Central and Southern Asia. You have Eastern and Southeastern Asia. You have Western Asia and Northern Africa. You have developing regions. You have developed regions. You have developing economies, talking about Asia and Oceania. You have developing economies in Asia. You have developing economies. We're talking about Fiji and French Peninsula. We have developing economies excluding China. We have developing economies excluding less developing countries. We have developed economies. You have also developed economies in Asia. You have developed economies Oceania, you have less developed countries, and in less developed countries you have also classifications. So they tell you less developed countries: Africa, Haiti, Asia, Islands. You have less developed countries in Africa. You have less developed countries, Iceland and Haiti. You have less developed countries, landlocked developed countries. You have also small island developing states, small island developing states. You have low income developing economies. You have middle income developing economies. You have high income developing economies. You have low income developing economies. You see all of them here. Have also upper middle income economies. You have high income economies. You have high income economies, OECD members. You have high income non-OECD members. You have heavily indebted poor countries. You have low income food deficit countries. You have selected low income food deficit countries. You have selected exporters of petroleums. You have selected exporters of manufactured goods. You will have selected exporters of manufactured goods and primary commodities. You'll have selected exporters of agriculture products. You have selected exporters of minerals and mining products. You have net food importing countries. You will have major net food importing countries. You have net food exporting countries. You will have major net food exporting economies. You will have BASIC countries. You'll have also BRICS countries. You'll have industrialized economies. You will have emerging industrial economies. You'll have emerging markets, and they dividing that into Africa, America, Asia, Europe, and Kazakhstan. And you have United Nations member states, and you have Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific group of states. You'll have also so again, Africa, Caribbean, Pacific group of states in relation to least developing countries. Same for locked least developing countries. You'll have landlocked. Yeah, talking about landlocked list developing countries. We have island states. You have Association of Caribbean States. What else we have? African Development Bank, developing member countries. You'll have African Union. You will have Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of Our America. Talking about People's Trade Treaty. You have Arab Maghreb Union. So talking about North Africa. We're talking about Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. We have also Asia Pacific Trade Agreement. You have Association of Southeast Asian Nations. You have Association of Southeast Asian Nations plus China, Japan, Republic of Korea, Biotrade countries. You have Central America Common Market. You have Indian communities. You have Caribbean communities. You have Convention on Biological Diversity. You'll have Central European Free Trade Agreement. You'll have Economic and Monetary Community of Central Africa. You will have Community of Saharan States. You will have Economic Community of the Great Lakes countries. You will have Commonwealth of Independent States. You will have Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. You'll have Common Market for Europe, Eastern and Southern Africa. You'll have East African Community, Economic Commission of Africa for Africa. You'll have Sahel countries. You'll have oil producing economies. You'll have non-oil producing. You'll have oil and less developing countries. You'll have non-oil less developing countries. You'll have small island states, less developing countries, landlocked less developing countries. You'll have landlocked countries. You'll have island economies. You'll have mineral-rich countries. Economic Community of Central African States. Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean. Economic Cooperation Organization. Economic Community of West African States. European Free Trade Association. Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. Africa, Latin America, Europe, East and Northeast Asia, North and Central Asia, South and Southwest Asia, Pacific Island Developing Economies, other area, talking about we're talking about Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific, talking about other area. East and Northeast Asia, including the Russian Federation, small islands, developing states, less developing countries, countries with special needs, landlocked developing countries, low income economies, lower middle income economies, upper middle income economy. So we're talking about all these classifications. These are available on UNCTAD. Now we're moving to something else, moving to Economic and Social Commission for Western Asia. And then they go through that again. So talking about Arab countries, Mashriq, Maghreb, Arab least developing countries, European Union, talking about EU 15, EU 25, EU 27, EU 28, Euro area, and then talking about the G20, and then talking about the G7, talking about G77, G8, and the Cooperation Council for Arab States of the Gulf. And we have global system of trade, preferences among developing countries, Intergovernmental Authority on Development, Latin American Integration Association, League of Arab States, like-minded mega diverse countries, Mano River Union, Melanesian Spearhead Group, North American Free Trade Agreement, Nagoya Protocol on Access and Benefit Sharing, Organization of American States, organization talking about OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, Southern African Custom Union, Southern African Development Community, Trans-Pacific Partnership, Union of South American Nations, Economic Commission for Europe, West Balkans, we're talking about Economic Commission for Europe, talking about Eastern Europe, Caucasus and Central Asia, West African Economic and Monetary Union, and West African Economic and Monetary Union. Now, why I've been through all of these groups and classifications, just to show you that whatever you're looking for in relation to research that you want to do in relation to, let's say, aggregate data, country levels, time series analysis, you will find different classifications here: geographical location, income classification, talking about association, treaties, regional agreements, all of these blocks and economic classifications, you'll find them here. So all you need to do is just to come to UNCTAD and look at that specific group. That will give you some sort of consistency, that will give you research some kind of harmony, and will allow you to generalize the results, the findings of your research. That's why you come here, you see the classification. Do not be selective based on following other scholars in being specific about certain countries, rather than just look at the group, block, or group of countries based on certain features and criteria that are recognized and classified by UNCTAD. So that will give you shortcut, be let's say consistent, and be able to use some sort of consistency when you're choosing countries. So choosing countries for research is not up to what you think countries I need to include in my time series analysis. Just look at economic classifications, different classifications recognized by UNCTAD. So use that. So now, sorry for taking long, but so now we need to clear all selection. So and then we need to go back to have a selection from the group, and also that will give you let's say the average when you select a group of countries, so that will allow you to get the average. So what we looking here, we're looking at here, yeah, cooperation, the Cooperation Council for the Arab States of the Gulf. So that what I'm going to get data for. So after we do that, show selected, yeah, and then show table. So you see that years, you got all the years that we can get for remember our selection, and then you got here the average here. So we've got the countries, years, and the average, and you got the data, and you'll be able to compare data. So you got data from as early as it is available. We have 1970. So you see, we don't have data for all countries in relation to that, but if you go from 1980, 1990, or if you want to look at 2000, yeah, until 2020, yeah. So, and then you'll be able to download the Excel sheet. Yeah, and the Excel sheet, you find all the information here from 1970 till let's say 2020. You'll be able to show data. So you've got the countries. So you have Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. And as I told you, we have the average here for the GCC. You can, let's say, as I said before, you could rectify any missing or any, let's say, errors in data by checking other resources if you feel. So definitely all these countries, they publish data, so you can double check data from the sources if let's say you see that some errors or any missing data that you need to rectify. Hope this helpful, and please do like and subscribe to encourage me to publish more videos. Thank you.